I'm going to show you how to profit in the stock market right now through the Trump tariffs. I am on a buying spree right now. Stocks are at a discount and trends are coming down. There is a way to play this. I've talked to several people over the last few days that have said, I'm just sitting on the sidelines. And my comment is, why are you sitting on the sidelines? Volatility is what we need to make money. So let me pull you over to my charts right now. I want to show you a couple of trades that I'm in at this current moment and there's really nothing to be worried about. So if we look at a trade like SkyWest, this thing I got into around $105 a share, somewhere up here. It has come down. It had a little snapback in there, but it's still coming down. The biggest thing to pay attention to when you have severe volatility like this is the volume overall and the trend of the stock that you're in. It's really no more than that. So if I'm looking at SkyWest, you can see here, over the last several days, did we have a little bit of buying volume? Yeah, and you're probably saying, well, the stock was down. How did we have buying volume? Well, let me show you. If you have a big drop pre-market, what's going to typically happen? Well, people are going to panic and they're going to just start buying back up again. And the following day, like SkyWest, it opened the day right here, and then people bought back into it. Also, when there's volatility, that typically means there's news. For example, yesterday, there was something that came out of the White House that said Trump is going to keep tariffs on China. Then a news story came out about 30 minutes later and said that the Trump administration is going to pause tariffs on China for 90 days. This was all over X. Literally 20 minutes later, somebody from the Trump administration came out and said, we don't know where that came from. That's not true. We're not pausing. And actually, we're doubling down on tariffs on China. And the stock market just plummeted once again. So you had this massive swing of being down 5% to being up 4% on fake news. And then the stock price, the market coming all the way back down. That is a great opportunity for a trader. My friends that are trading right now, especially day traders, are making so much money just following the trends. There is a way to do this. So for me, in my trades that I'm currently in, I'm not bailing on them. CCL. Am I getting a little bit of a snapback today? Is it up 6%? Yeah, but I've been in it since over here at $24. There's really no reason to be coming out of this thing. Just trust the trend and let it keep falling down. If we zoom the chart out, look, this thing still has room to go. We can still get down to $14 very, very easily. Now let's take a peek at the volume. What are we having today? Well, the market opened up higher, but what is happening? Remember how I showed you the market opens lower, then runs up? It's the same thing. If the market opened higher, what's going to happen? It's going to come down. It's going to come down intraday. And look at this. Sellers are in there. If you look at the overall volume today, there are more sellers than buyers. Even though the stock price is up, people are going to start taking their profits. If you look at Lululemon, another trade I'm in, big downtrend. No reason to exit just because the price is up. Actually, the price is down today. The price was up a shade yesterday. You were up about 3% on Friday, which is unbelievable because Friday was a big down day. But there's really no reason to be exiting these things. If we go to Jets, this is an interesting one because you need to pay attention to what Jets is. This is the ETF for all of the airlines. So you have Southwest, Delta, American, United in this thing. And what happens if there's a recession? What happens if people don't have extra money to fly places? Well, airlines are going to certainly be hit. I've been in this thing since all the way up here, somewhere around this 24, 25 area. And we have just fallen and fallen and fallen. And I do think that we still have more room to fall. And why do I think that? I'm looking at the trend and I'm looking at the extremely weak volume. And when there is big volume, it's selling volume. Now, let's go and look at some other things. Let's look at something like Nike. Nike, if we just look at this chart, has been absolutely battered and abused. And I'm going to pull up only the long-term chart to show you something very interesting. Here was the bottom of COVID. We are below COVID right now. So yes, there's been a lot going on with China internationally. But when you really think about it, and this is what I did yesterday. I'm going to divulge from trading for a second, but I went over and looked at some long-term stuff on Nike. And I actually did use it I put it all together. When you look at something like this, yeah, are they big producers in China? Yeah, but where else are they big producers? Indonesia and Vietnam. That's where they get materials from. What's happening with tariffs outside of China? Well, everybody's lightening up tariffs / eliminating tariffs. So I looked at this and said, well, this seems blown out of proportion because the majority of what they get is from Vietnam and Indonesia. Is it a big portion of China? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that this warrants below a 20 PE at $56 a share below COVID levels. That's absolutely insane. So I was participating in this. And now what I'm going to start looking for is, because I think Nike is going to be one of the first to pop because of what I just said. This is eventually going to swoop up here, and I am going to be adding more and more and more to this Nike trade. Nike is going to be very good. Nike is going to be very good. And if you start looking at some of these Mag 7s, what are the first stocks that are going to fall? Well, the leaders, Facebook, Nvidia, Apple, Google, Tesla. Those are going to be when the market is down big, those are down big. When the market is up big, who's going to be up big? Those leaders. So pay attention to your Nvidia. See what's happening with that one. You see you're getting a little bit of rebound today. Nothing enough to reverse the volume, but you got a big runway here. This will probably get back to 122. If you look at Apple, it's just been absolutely abused. And if you look at what's going on with Apple, look here. You've pretty much stopped. I think the bleeding has kind of stopped with Apple. Maybe you'll go to 174, but it's not going to go much lower than that. This is going to get sucked back to the 200-day moving average. The 200-day moving average is going to be a big player for Apple. If you look at something like a Google, same thing. It's going to get sucked back to that 200-day moving average. I think the bleeding is probably over. Maybe you can go to like 140, but the bleeding is probably over. Something like a Tesla. Now, Tesla is an interesting one because you have a head and shoulders pattern on Tesla. So what is a head and shoulders pattern? Well, you have a stock price that runs up, pulls back a little bit, really spikes, then comes down, rebounds a touch, and then goes like that. And actually, I think the run here is over. So here's your head, here's your left shoulder, here's your right shoulder, here's the fall that happens after the right shoulder is developed. And honestly, I think you're probably here at this bottom. So the market is poised at this point to do some kind of big reversal. I think the market is up today. Could it be up tomorrow? I don't know. It's up 3.5% today on the NASDAQ, probably similar or maybe a little bit less on the S&P. Let's see what SPX is doing. 2.88%. Let's go back to the Qs. This is probably where you're kind of getting to this bottom area. I think the Qs might be able to get to like 380, but the overall point of me telling you this is pay attention. You can even see here, guys. You can see what's happening. You're starting to get this curl. See that curl that's happening? It's not this straight down trajectory anymore. It's this curl that's happening, meaning that you're starting to get buyers coming into the market. And obviously, I mean, I think that this is a great buying opportunity right now. You do whatever you want to do with your money. I'm not here to tell you that you should buy, you should sell. You do whatever you want to do. But I look at this saying, this is a pretty good discount on a lot of good companies out there. Something like Nike, something like these, some oils, some steels. They have just been battered and abused because of stupid news. Stupid news. There is no such thing as the efficient market theory. There is no such thing. There is no such thing as baked into the market. If things were baked into the market, we wouldn't have big swings in markets. It just doesn't make sense because they would have already been baked in. So why would they swing? There are stupid people in this market. Smart money, dumb money, everybody is dumb money. The smartest money out there is probably buying right now. I'm not saying going crazy. I'm not saying they're deploying all their cash that they have, but they're dabbling right now because they realize that this is absolutely stupid of what's going on. But this is how you trade this market, guys. You take advantage of opportunities that you see and you stick to the trends that you're in. I want to go back to those 4 trades I'm in. Don't exit things because the stock price is up. If I was looking at only price today on CCL being up 7%, I would be bailing on this thing because I've given away 7% of my profits. I look at this and say, no, I still have room to go. Why? Because the trend is still down. There is not enough buying volume in there to pull this thing back up here to $20, $21. You need to continue to pay attention to your trends. Do not panic. Pay attention to your trends over here. Pay attention to your trends over here with jets and alike. Wait for those things like Nike to spike up. Wait for those things like Google to spike up. Those market leaders that brought the market down are going to be the ones to send the market up. And if you want to look at this over a long-term period of time, over the next 2 to 5 years, you're not even going to remember this. You're not even going to remember this. It's a little bit of a pullback over a long period of time. Actually, let me show you something funny here. If we just zoom this chart out, look at this. This is over the past, where are we? We're 2013 here. I mean, this is a drop in the bucket of what we're seeing right now. This is just a drop in the bucket. Look how many pullbacks, these big pullbacks that we've had over the past several years. Look at here, this was 2007 running through 2008, and see where we are. So don't let the CNBC, Fox Business, all those nerds out there tell you scary things. Just pay attention to your trends and pay attention to your volumes. Now, I know I threw a ton at you in this video. That was a lot of information, but I have a step-by-step guide of how you can go through this. It's a PDF, it's comprehensive. It's going to give you the bullet points of what you need to be able to trade in this market and really any market when it comes to volume and overall trend. Click the link in the description below. It's a free PDF and it will make your life easier. It'll give you some comfort, something to fall back on when times are scary like this. So I talked about the 4 stocks that I'm currently in: SkyWest, CCL, Lululemon, and Jets. Go and watch this video right here. You need to go and watch and understand why and how I got into those specific trades. Go check it out.